Hello and welcome to Jason... That sounded weird. Hello and welcome to Jason Cross Reads Books. Today for my first video, I'm going to be discussing the book Ready Player One, written by Ernest Cline, and the movie directed by Steven Spielberg. Before I continue, I want to let you know that there will be spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers, then click off now. Ready Player One is a dystopian sci-fi book set in the year 2045. James Halliday, the creator of the world's largest multiplayer role-playing game, The Oasis, has died and has released a posthumous challenge to find his Easter egg. The prize, control of Halliday's company, his wealth, and the Oasis itself. I would call this book a one-of-a-kind, with the exception of its sequel, with its heavy use of 1980s nostalgia, its referencing of everything under the sun, from video gaming, pop culture, and the cult classics. The movie recreates the heart and meaning of the book, and Spielberg puts his own spin in the mix. In this video, I'll discuss some of the big and little differences that I found between the two versions, and try to give you my take on what those differences mean. To start off, The Oasis is a large online video game platform that is set up into sections, and each section has a lot of planets. To start, the book begins on the planet Ludus within the Oasis. Ludus is one goal, for education. Planet Ludus within the Oasis is dedicated to education for elementary and high school students. Students log into the Oasis for virtual learning, much like students are today with COVID. Oh boy. Ernest Cline uses Ludus in the beginning of the book to inform the reader how the Oasis works. The movie takes a lot less time in discussing how the Oasis works because you're seeing how it works firsthand. This leads to the first major difference. In the book, the first challenge that the main character, Parzival, whose real name is Wade, comes across is on planet Ludus. However, in the movie, Ludus is just mentioned about partway through the movie. The challenges to get the keys that lead to Halliday's Easter egg differ quite a bit from the book and movie. In the movie, there's a lot more emphasis on knowing Halliday's own interpersonal relations. In contrast, the book, it has a lot more emphasis on Halliday's own obsessions with gaming and pop culture. For example, in the movie, the first challenge is a road race throughout Manhattan. The key to winning happens to be in a recording of Halliday and his business partner Ogden Morrow's conversation. In this conversation, Halliday and Morrow are discussing rules and restrictions that they should be implementing in the Oasis. Halliday says, "Wouldn't it be great if you just go backwards as fast as you can?" It ends up that when Parzival, the next time he's at the road race, is able to find a secret corridor going backwards as fast as he can and ends up getting to complete the race. My take for this difference is that the race is a bit more visually pleasing. And it also sets the tone for when Parzival meets Artemis and their relationship going forward, which is a bit different in the book. Now for the second challenge and the second key. Another big difference is that in the movie, Artemis is part of a resistance group that's fighting IOI, or Innovative Online Industries. Her motivation being that her father was indentured at an IOI loyalty center to pay off never-ending debt. As further motivation, IOI is a big bad company that will stop at nothing for profit. This big detail also sets a stage for where Parzival and Artemis actually meet in real life for the first time. In the movie, they meet for the first time about halfway through, but in the book, they meet for the first time towards the very end. In fact, Wade meets all of his online friends, Artemis, Aech, and Shoto, all at the same time at Ogden Morrow's estate that's being used as a safe house. And speaking of the loyalty centers, this leads to another difference. In the movie, Artemis gets captured and placed into an IOI loyalty center, and with Wade's help is eventually able to escape the loyalty center and infiltrate the IOI war room during the final battle. This part in the book is taken up by Wade himself when he uses a false identity to infiltrate IOI system from the inside when he becomes an indentured debtor. This difference, where the movie uses Artemis instead of Wade, I think stems from trying to keep the plot moving. Time definitely was a lot slower in the book, where I believe the book takes place over a series of months. But in the movie, it seems like it's only a couple weeks. This next difference, I think, is the hardest. Daito. Daito, one of the members of the High Five, is unfortunately hunted by IOI and killed, and made to look like a suicide. The book goes into a good deal of depth of showing the friendship between Daito and Shoto. The friendship between Daito and Shoto was so close that they call themselves brothers. But the movie doesn't really delve into that depth. The movie doesn't go into the depths of that friendship because it wasn't really a big plot mover, so it's pretty understandable. But in the movie, Daito does live. I have read the book sequel Ready Player 2, and it will be interesting how that movie reconciles Daito living and Daito dying. Secondly, in the movie Ready Player 1, Shoto is seen to be an 11-year-old kid, but in Ready Player 2, it's hinted that he's a bit older. It'll be pretty interesting to see how Ready Player 2's movie adaptation reconciles these differences. The last difference that I'm going to speak of today is how important Ogden Morrow is. Don't get me wrong, Ogden Morrow in both versions is really important, but how he's important differs greatly. In the book, it's revealed pretty late that Ogden Morrow has the super user ability, given that he's one of the creators of the Oasis. So Ogden Morrow has a super user ability, given that he's one of the creators of the Oasis, that allows him to spy on any conversation without being detected at all. And using these super user abilities allows him to help Parzival in inconspicuous ways. Outside of the Oasis, Ogden uses his resources to gather the remaining members of the High Five, Parzival, Artemis, Aech, and Shoto, and uses his estate as a safe haven away from IOI's reach. On the other hand, in the movie, Ogden has an avatar called the Curator. The Curator acts as a librarian, helping all of the egg hunters in their searches. This gives the movie a key opportunity to change the manner of how Ogden is important by having him lose a bet that gives Parzival a coin as a reward, that coin being an extra life. My take on this difference? So Ogden is very important in either situation. However, in the book, Ogden gives a safe haven, but in the movie, it's Ogden who actually allows Parzival to win the competition. So these have been the differences that I found that give the essence to both the book and the movie of Ready Player One. There are definitely a lot more differences to be found between the book and the movie. Let me know in the comments section what differences you found, what you think those differences mean. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.